Right there, Bob, is that you ready for another pint?
What a difference a week can make. Last Friday, Tim's Bar in Selkirk was allowed to reopen after the Scottish Borders entered Level 1. Now, just 7 days later, it's facing another potential closure. In the last week, the infection rate has risen and tougher restrictions are now being considered.
It will have an impact on us, going from 1 to 2 or even to 3, as we are just a wet pub. There has been a spike in cases, so it's only natural that this could have happened, but it's still a great disappointment, not just for us as licensees, but for our staff, for customers, for everybody in the community who use the pubs.
The Borders' position is looking precarious. The rate of infection is no longer consistent with Level 1 status. The infection rate is now at 97 per 100,000 people, up from 37 in just 10 days. The leader of Scottish Borders Council called for the area to be put in Level 1. She now believes more restrictions are imminent.
We're likely to move up a level. We don't know what level that's going to be at the moment. At the moment our figures are looking like 2, but if that increases and continues to rise, then we might be looking at harder restrictions next week. The figures almost started to rise just on the day we went to Level 1, so it's not being in Level 1 that has caused this, and that's a really important point to stress. So we're continuing to work on it, we're continuing to try and understand, but we're just asking people to be vigilant.
That point is echoed by NHS Borders. It's believed the current spike is from people who were infected while the area was still in Level 2. I asked its chief executive whether that means Level 2 doesn't work and if Level 3 is needed.
I think there is some evidence that would suggest that Level 2 can keep numbers at the level that they were at, but probably isn't probably effective enough to reduce levels. I hope we seriously take a decision that would reduce the infection rates going forward, that takes account of the fact that we are going into the Christmas and festive period, and that is a significant risk.
The Borders General Hospital is dealing with an outbreak on one of its wards, affecting 22 people. They've also cancelled all routine operations for the rest of the year.
We needed to make that decision because of the need for us to have enough space in the hospital, but also more importantly to have the staff to look after the patients we have got safely. Our staff are under huge pressure at the moment, and we need to balance the need for us to continue all of the services, or as many of the services as we can provide, against the other things we need to do.
Today, the Scottish Health Secretary didn't rule out another national lockdown in the new year. She also said a decision on the Borders' position will be made next week.
At this stage, the clinical advice that I am receiving is not that we need to act sooner, but that we do, with Scottish Borders, as with all the local authorities, need to pay close attention to what the information and data is telling us, so that we reach as close as we can, a shared view by the early part of next week.
The Borders can expect to discover its fate by Tuesday, a matter of days before Christmas, and it is evidence of the sheer speed of which this virus can accelerate. Lewis Warner, ITV News, Selkirk.